I have to admit, I've always been a big fan of Jonathan Crane, aka the Scarecrow in the Batman's universe. It's been a fascinating character with a twisted personality, and he was always my favorite rogue in the BTAS. So when my best friend told me that there was a lost episode which Jonathan was changed back into a kid, I was like, hell yeah, just give me the DVD. And she did. Thinking about it, I guess I should have been on my very way. My best friend was never fond of Batman. Indeed, she always had thought of that my sick passion for this cartoon was kind of weird. But at the moment, I was way too happy to be suspicious when she gave me the DVD. I could only think about one thing: watching it as soon as I could. I got home earlier than usual that day. One of my teachers was sick and I left school in a hurry, eager to watch this lost episode DVD. I put the DVD in the drive and started the couch with some bowl of soda and crackers. Everything started normally. Batman was chasing the Scarecrow down Gotham streets, with Robin, of course. Jonathan then ran into a dark alley and hid beside a dumpster, trying to look tired and sick. He was even paler and skinnier than the usual with cold sweat all over his face. I immediately thought that he might have been drugged or something like that. The camera then got back to Batman, who was still looking for the villain, looking very worried. "Have you found him yet?" Robin asked. "He can't have gone too far. Dr. Bartholomew said that he was weaker than a kitten when he escaped." "That's what I'm afraid of, Robin. A weak and scared scarecrow is a very dangerous scarecrow." "But we're here to help him, for goodness sake, Batman. It's not like we're going to hurt him." "I am fully aware of that, but the man isn't. Remember, he is sick." I don't know why, but I began to feel very uncomfortable here. Batman was usually very calm, very confident at this moment. Well, let's see it clearly. He seemed scared. Very scared, of course. I didn't know, but I wasn't so sure if I want to know. A part of me wanted to turn off the TV, but the part of me in my brain was like, no, don't do it. Jonathan is in trouble. That'll be nice to see Batman helping him for once. So I just sat there, unable to get my eyes off the screen. The camera turned back to Jonathan, who was now sitting on the floor, his heartbeat still deafening, and he seemed to be in great pain. That's when things started to go wrong. The Scarecrow screamed, a scream to shrill so loud that literally everyone jumped from the couch out of pure fright. He spat blood, a lot of blood, and his body started to convulse. His eyes were so bloody red in his face. Oh my God, his face was even paler than a ghost. I swear to God, I wanted to turn off the TV. I wanted so much as to turn off that damn TV, but it was like I was paralyzed by fear. I could just look at the damn screen, wonder what was going on, and that was I was just thinking, what the hell is this? When it all ended, Jonathan stopped moving. It was like he just died there in that dark alleyway. His screams started to alert the dynamic duo. Batman and Robin arrived on scene in a few seconds, and the look on their faces was of pure terror. The camera slowly turned back to Jonathan, or at least what was left of him. There was a pile of bloody clothes, and sitting under rags, you could see a red-haired kid who looked very frightened. He looked at Batman and Robin with tear-filled eyes. "Professor Crane?" Robin asked carefully. Do you recognize us?" The kid remained silent for a while as he got up to his feet. His face was covered in blood, but it didn't seem to bother him. "Dimwits," he said, smiling. Batman and Robin looked at each other with relief. I have to say that I was quite happy to see Jonathan Crane was still himself. I sat back on the couch. I only knew that episode never aired. It would have been far too scary for kids. Batman caught the kid in his arms and wrapped him up in his cape. Jonathan didn't even fight back. He seemed pretty sleepy, and I thought that maybe he was happy to be safe. They brought him back to Arkham, explaining the situation to Dr. Bartholomew, and at this point of the episode, I was kind of like that kid on the Christmas tree, knowing that everything was back to normal, and I was going to enjoy this episode. The 5 minutes were rather annoying in my opinion. It was all about Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn about their damn maternal instinct. And I want to cuddle you, and I want to read you a good night story, and so on. So boring. But after that horrifying scenes, I wasn't going to complain. Nope, sir. The time passed rather quickly, and Jonathan was still stuck in the kid's body. Things weren't too far for him anymore. The other inmates were tired of having to take care of him, and the doctors were now treating him like a toddler. One night, Batman came to the asylum to see if everything was okay. He He found Jonathan sitting on the bed, looking very depressed and lonely. "How do you feel, Professor?" the caped crusader asked. "Dr. Bartholomew told me you were quite remorse." "Who wouldn't be? I hate being a child. I shouldn't have been experiencing this new toxin on myself. Look at me. I'm a freak." I was waiting on the comforting speech from Batman, but he wasn't there anymore. Instead, there was a note on Jonathan's door. "Hang yourself." I felt a shiver down my spine. Who could have read such a terrible note? Batman? No, that was insane. Jonathan looked at the piece of paper for a moment. He didn't seem so sad, no, but just tired and exhausted. The screen then went to black. The next morning, a nurse came in and called the inmate's cell to see if everything was okay. When she entered Jonathan's cell, there was a moment of silence, and then she ran away, screaming as if she'd seen the most horrible thing ever. The camera then entered the cell, and slowly, but no music, just a sound, very loud heartbeat. And there it was, grown up again, his face into a horrifying expression of pain, a noose around his neck. "Jonathan!" I screamed, and I think I'll never stop screaming.